everyone, and welcome to another Seashell video. So today we're going to be talking about cold water immersions, more specifically cold water dipping in a ice barrel. So if you've never done this before or you've watched other people do it, you might think, oh, they're completely nuts. Now, I can understand why people might think that because it's not necessarily the norm, but today I'm going to go through some reasons why you might want to give it a go, what are the benefits for it, and how we differ from person to person. So over the last few years, there's definitely been an increase of people heading out into the wild to do some wild swimming, or even just doing it in their showers, their baths, or in their ice barrels at home. So why do people do it? Is it just a trend that everyone's following, or are there some proper benefits to this? We will look into it today, but it's very, very clear that we are all very different as humans. Therefore, the reasons why we do this are going to differ from person to person. So it's very well worth knowing that and taking that on board. So first and foremost, cold water dips can come in very many different forms. It could simply be having a cold shower. It could be having a cold bath. It could be dipping in your ice barrel. It could be going for a swim in the sea, lochs, rivers, I don't know, ice baths in like a concentrated place for a team sport. All of these different things include cold water immersions. For me personally, I love doing cold water immersions because of the mental aspects of it. So regardless of what we've talked about today with the physical benefits, they might not all be exactly true. Lots and lots of studies have been done. Things are forever changing. A lot of people speak about having cold water ice dips for helping with recovery in between working out. People have talked about it for years in regards to building muscle. Now, things are now coming out saying that that's not necessarily true, especially in regards to the trying to build muscle. Whereas I think when people are trying to recover in between workouts, let's say you're doing a CrossFit competition and you've got back-to-back workouts, going into a ice bath can really help not just cool you down, which I'm sure it definitely will, but allows you to almost numb that area so that hopefully you can then go back and do the next workout. So there are lots of things online. It's hard to know necessarily what to believe. Things are coming out all the time, new research. But for me, I feel that regardless of all of that, the main thing is the mental aspect of it. So doing things like this has helped me enormously realize that I can do what I put my mind to. So in this controlled environment, I am able to push myself, knowing that I could get out whenever I want to and come up and have a shower. That's the controlled environment, but I'm giving myself the control of letting go of that control. It gives you a natural high. So a lot of people say, oh, you're crazy from doing this. It must make you feel dead, or, you know, surely you just die after doing this. A lot of people have commented on some of my videos doing this, and it does the absolute opposite for me anyway. As soon as I'm in there, it's a very different thing, but especially once I've come out the water, I am buzzing, like absolutely buzzing. I feel so fresh and so ready for the rest of the day. It definitely gives you a high. So what happens is when your body hits the water, all these endorphins rush all around your body, and those endorphins are the things that make you feel happy, which is great. So the next thing we're going to look at is that it's meant to be really good for your skin and for your hair. So once we get into the cold water, because of how cold it is, the blood rushes all around the body to your arteries, your capillaries, and your veins, and everything starts to move really, really well. And that is supposed to help flush everything and get the skin and the hair looking really good. So the next one is our immune system. Now, because our bodies are being put through this change with the cold water, it's meant to boost white blood cells, which is then supposed to help us recover better when it comes to illnesses. Our body is basically learning how to adapt to being put under these type of conditions, so that when something happens in the future, whether it's getting ill or an injury or whatever, whether I don't know what it might be, that our bodies and our minds are able to adapt to that and hopefully be able to heal quicker. So our body's ability to be able to adapt is one of the biggest ways that it can stay resilient. Now, the next one is that it is meant to increase your libido. There used to be a myth that it did the opposite, but actually, once we go into the water, everything in our bodies, including our hormones, are moving all over the place. So it's actually meant to increase the libido. Another one that's pretty controversial is burning calories. So our bodies are in cold water, therefore we're having to try and keep ourselves heated up. So we will be burning more calories when we're in cold water for sure. Is it a way to try and target fat loss? I would say no. There are other things that you should be doing. But it's interesting that it does do this. Doing cold water immersions is a fantastic way of socializing and meeting with new people, unless you're doing it in your own barrel at home. But it's a good laugh anyway, especially when you're doing it by yourself at home. But if you're doing it outside in the loch or in the sea or in rivers with other people, it's a fantastic way of socializing. You'll end up saying things and communicating in a way you wouldn't think you would do, because you kind of are in a vulnerable position where you're cold. So you end up sharing that experience with other people, and I think that is such an amazing experience to have with others. So, if we're in cold water, it can actually stimulate the growth of brown fat cells in the human body, which can benefit the glucose and energy metabolism, which is really, really interesting. This is why when you see people who have been out doing lots of long swims in the really, really cold water, you see that their skin is almost like a different color. It's not like it's necessarily red, it kind of looks browny. I don't really know how to explain it. Everyone's different in the way that we react when we've been in cold water, but if you do it long enough, it will stimulate the brown fat cells in the body. Cold water dipping is also meant to be really, really beneficial for reducing stress. I think when there are a lot of other things going on in your life, once you hit the cold water, you pretty much forget about everything. And it allows you to focus on that breath, which you can then take to other aspects of your life when you're stressful, and realize that you need to breathe and you can deal with that stress better. So get out, enjoy it. It's something that's super, super exciting. It's still on the increase, and I'm loving seeing more people do it. If you have any questions at all, then comment down in the comment section below, or get in touch with me on my social media. I'll be happy to answer any questions. And yeah, happy dipping, and we will see you all in the new year. Bye!